Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there with different advice on exposure levels. To really dial in the zebras for run and gun situations, it's good to adjust your lens and your camera and your settings according to your monitor of what you would see in those false colors. So you have more of an idea of where to set your levels at for those run and gun situations. Okay, so checking with the monitor, the first thing I do is change it from native to my LUT. This is my natural. This is what I'm going to get after my color space transform conversion. And then I'll put on my false colors. And I would put my zebras where the lines match my false colors. So I know that's exposure. The reason why I use the LUT instead of the native, as you see, if I go to native, it gives me a completely different reading. It's just showing me there's my skin tones. But when I take it in the editing room, this is going to give me more of a realistic representation of what it's going to come out to be. And you want your skin tones a little overexposed, because if not, they kind of look kind of muddy and murky. So this is the perfect level, which through my adjustments, I found to be 55. And as you can see, the zebras on the side correspond with what you see on the screen. As you see, if I take that down, you'll see a little bit of those zebras come in. Now see, that yellow means I'm clipping, which I set this to, and you can see the little clipping right there on the skin. So that's telling me I need to bring it back down. See, I'm no longer clipping, and I no longer have the yellow spots on there. And if I go back and check, it says I'm a little high on my skin tone, so I could feel safe to bring it down a little bit more. And I'm in a pretty reasonable spot. So by using that, my zebras match up, because I know you're supposed to use 52, but you see, I get that breakaway. I mean, I guess in a way, if I go -1, it kind of would look like the representation of this outer skin tone with the highlights there. I mean, you could do it that way too, whatever preference you like, really. But as long as you know that's how you're going to use your zebras each and every time, I prefer just to have the face blotted out, and I just know, hey, I know that's the zone. Even if I'm a little under, I'm still reasonably good as long as I got a little bit on the face. And as you can see, I lose all my zebras there. I got my skin tone there. And see, as soon as it breaks on the false colors, you can start seeing it on my face. And that's what I do to set my my zebras to skin tones. Now this lower limit says 63 plus. What it really means is 64. I've done some testing. I did the same thing in my upper range to make sure this is my skin tone and this is my upper range at 93 plus, so I could check for blown out highlights in the windows. And I've done all this testing with the variations that are on this. So I pretty much just matched up all my zebras with highlight blown outs and whatnot using the false color panel. So I'm pretty sure this will work with any camera. Your zebras will vary, I'm sure, from model to model. But this is the best way to really get your camera set up to where you don't have to carry a monitor with you all the time. And if you don't have false color on your camera, at least you could utilize this to get that done. I also have a technique using the false colors in DaVinci Resolve. Now in DaVinci Resolve, I'll drag the false color on there at the end of my color transforms just to check the colors. And I usually go to Creative, and I go through and click on Show Sliders, and I change up a couple things. Like my mid-brand, I'll bring that up between 55 and 65, because usually they say your skin tones should fall between 55 and 65 IRE. And also to keep from clipping skin tones, you want to stay below 70 IRE. I bumped that next level up from between 68 and 72 just to give a little bit leniencies. It's still adjustable. And those are mainly the two main ones. I switch up. Everything else is pretty much fine. I might top that the next band up to 75, and that's when I know for sure that I'm clipping highlights within. Here's a crude example in the shade. I grab a still of that. Now this is the mononodes heat exposure heat map, and as you can see, when I swipe that, my false colors over that, you can see where my light skin tones will be. That's where I have my light skin tones, and you can see that they pretty much match up verbatim. You can see the hot spots on the knuckles, and as you'll see as I wipe over, you'll see the hot spots on the knuckles. Same on the cheek. You'll see the little yellow with the little hot spot there. You'll get the same colors from the pink to the orange. And they pretty much, it's pretty much the same exact exposure heat map. Hope this was helpful anyway, but that's what I use to adjust and figure out my exposures when filming. Until then, I'm just going to keep on filming.